a bag up in Louis, then go cop a crib on the north side. 1500, that's the gain, oh.
What's up guys, Maxim here, welcome back to another My Hero Academia The Strongest Hero video. If you're new to the channel, welcome, thank you so much for hanging out here. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button for me real quick, it helps the channel a lot. And also a like on this video would be really appreciated. And with that out of the way, today we're going to be showing you how you can actually get the best out of All Might, especially that he got released right now. All Might is a really good character, especially for PvE content. And he's a decent character, I would say, for PvP content as well, especially for arena. And when we're talking about like the super co-op battle, All Might is actually top tier because he has a lot of like all area sort of attack or AoE attacks. So we're going to be showing you how you can actually build him up when it comes to talents and also cards. Lastly is going to be the Chipset that you should be aiming for as well. So hopefully we can summarize everything very quickly. This video might end up being like 20 minutes long or something, but we're gonna go through it all. Starting off with the talents. Talents is very important when it comes to All Might. All Might is very tricky when it comes to use. You have one option, and the best option would be going like top right first, because that would give you kind of immortality and also a lot of damage reduction. And that's exactly what you should be aiming for with All Might, not dying and surviving kind of the maximum amount in order to keep doing damage, because if you die you're not going to be doing damage. So that's something to keep in mind. Why the top right first is going to be because of this, which going to be granting you immune to all damage when you're going into the Oklahoma Smash. The Oklahoma Smash is basically when he becomes a human tornado or a Beyblade or I don't know, like a spinning machine, like a fan. Yeah, that's called Oklahoma Smash. So it's something very nice to have, especially when you're facing the mud kind of demon in the agency assessment, or the other guy where he kind of released the pool underneath, and it enables you to like to take a lot of damage. Basically All Might, by doing this, going to be sort of like immune or unable to die at all. So that's very important. The second thing that is going to be enable you to become sort of immortal because of this kind of branch that you're going to be going for is this one. So basically if you drop lower than 40%, you're going to be recovering 30% of your max HP. So you're going to be going back to 70% health whenever you're going to be dropping to 40%. So that kind of makes you unable to die mixed up with this one. I rarely die with All Might, so he's kind of nuts. He's very fun character to use, so that's something to keep in mind, that you should go into the top right first. Of course we're going to be having this kind of thing where it's going to be increasing your damage by 16% once it's actually maxed out. And the tricky question that I get a lot after going the top right, which one is actually most suited to go for, is actually to have like the maximum amount of damage. I would recommend you guys going into the bottom right, which is like going into this one, because this one is actually really good, because it basically unlocks a new attack, or going into an Oklahoma Smash once you go into the third charge with while autoing with All Might. We're going to be going through the details on how the mechanics for All Might autoing actually works, so I'm going to be showing you that, so you don't have to worry about that. So whenever you're going to be going into the third charge for All Might while autoing, you're going to be going into Oklahoma Smash like automatically, which going to be going hand in hand with the first thing that we talked about, which is granting immunity whenever you're going to be going for Oklahoma. And plus you're going to be hitting two birds with one stone, because you're going to be having kind of like a Texas Smash, I believe, and also going into an Oklahoma Smash, so that's double damage at the same time. The second one, why you shouldn't go for straight away, especially if you have him only as, kind of contradict this one. That's the biggest issue right now, is it kind of like contradicts this one. You have to be losing HP to the maximum in order to doing this, and if you're dying, you're not going to be able to benefit this one from this one like to the kind of to the maximum amount, because when All Might loses 1 HP, his attack increased by 1%. It looks kind of cool, and it looks like very, I don't know, like very tempting to go for, but I wouldn't recommend you, because especially if you have like S. So I would go like top right and also bottom right first, and probably if you have an SS, you can actually work on this one slowly, because these ones are kind of okay, especially with this one, because it's going to be increasing your your third charge by 4%, which kind of works with the bottom right as well. But I would say, like, basically if you want damage, you should go for the bottom right, because this one is going to be enabling you to do 100% more attack whenever you're using your W, and also it works with the upper one, where you're going to be going to into the Oklahoma Smash. But because since you're using the W and you have the chipset, you're going to be doing going into the Oklahoma Smash sort of like automatically. We're gonna be talking about that. I know it's kind of overwhelming, but once we go into the training kind of ground, we're gonna break it through bit by bit, and hopefully it's going to be more simplified. But the most recommended part about this one, if you want damage, top right and also bottom right, it's going to be going hand in hand, because you're going to be having immortality or invulnerability, and also like you're going to be having the damage. All right, let's jump into the chipset, because this one is kind of important, because it basically changes how All Might mechanics work. If you have all the chipsets, you're going to be doing an additional 20% damage when you're going to be using your special, which is like if we're gonna go into the skills, which is this one, you're going to be having an extra like an attack by like 30% whenever you're going to be using this one, and plus like the chipset is going to be increasing that as well, especially when you have like the 6 stars kind of chipset. I believe whenever you have the 4-star chipsets, you're going to be having an increase 10%, and then 15% when you have the 5-star, and then it scales up to 20% damage dealt whenever you're using this special. In addition to that, you're going to be adding a new hemisphere smash whenever you're going to be using your W and also your E. So it's really nuts. He's just gonna be like doing tornadoes all the time whenever you're using your E and also your W whenever you have the full chipset. So it's really nice to have, and it changes his mechanics drastically. Obviously, All Might is power based kind of character, and preferably you want to have sort of like chipsets with power and also like crit and also damage increase. Like preferably those are the kind of the best sort of stats you want to have for your chipset. So basically work on his power. If you don't have power, work on them slowly and actually upgrade them over time. That's definitely recommended. Alright, let's talk about cards as well, because I don't want this video to become like 30 minutes long or something. I want to keep it brief, especially that we're gonna be talking in depth when we go into the training and actually demonstrating how he actually works as well. For the cards, preferably you're going to be getting his cards, because those cards are going to be increasing his damage drastically. The first card, One for All, that's what it's called, and you're going to be increasing like his damage by 18%. It's kind of nuts because he's just like, I don't know, like he does a decent amount of damage, and plus his kit works so good to make him sort of immortal. Like you can't kill All Might unless like you kind of put him on auto, I guess. But yeah, he's nuts. So this one is going to be enabling you to get an extra 18% damage, and the second one is going to be like enabling you to do 14% more damage whenever you're going to be using sort of like his auto attacks. So that's something to keep in mind. Of course, the percentage is gonna be varying whenever you upgrade the cards. So level 1, I believe, is gonna be like 14, and then it scales up to 21, and then yada yada yada. Of course, if you're going to be having both cards, you're going to be having an additional 200 attack points, so that's something really good. Personally, what I would like to use is actually use the normal card, because it's going to be enabling you to get the additional 12% in battle, and also you're going to be getting like a hyper armor. Not that All Might really needs it, because he's basically immune to everything if you get like the top right sort of like talent, but it's something to have in mind. And plus, like, the attack is going to be increasing for 36% depending on the level of the normal card, so that's very recommended to have. The second one that I have is basically this one. It's going to be increasing the normal attack is like by 11%, but this is not very recommended for All Might. I would actually use this one instead, because you're going to be increasing sort of like his crit rate and also like his crit damage, and you want him to do more sort of like more damage, because he has like a lot of IUEs and also like a lot of like hits all together, so he's going to be critting a lot often, because he's releasing like a lot of sort of attacks all the time. Personally, for the active cards, this is like a personal preference. Whatever you have, you can actually use. But I use this one because it actually deals like 210 attack damage to all enemies. It's not that significant compared to a lot of others, but it's going to be increasing like the crit rate to 100%. But this is kind of a double-edged sword, because you're going to be reducing your crit damage by 20% for 4 seconds. But you're gonna be doing like 100% like crit rate. So it's kind of like a trade-off, but I found it very useful for him, because when you're like hitting like normal sort of characters, he like is gonna enable you to do more damage basically. And I'm using like this card because yeah, it's one of the best single target sort of like damage dealer cards. But yeah, he's fantastic, honestly. But let's go into the training and actually demonstrate how he actually works, so you guys can actually understand the best way or the best strategy in order to use All Might in the proper way and take advantage of his kit. Yeah, let's jump right into it. Alright, now we are in the training. Basically, if you don't have the chipset, this is how like the attacks for All Might is gonna look like. You're going to be like, let's go through like his auto first place. Basically, you have this bar underneath demonstrating different charges that All Might goes through whenever you're gonna be autoing. So you do 2 autos and then 2, and then you can actually see it like changing. And basically each stage gives you different attacks for All Might. So if I do 2 and then do this one, is gonna go into I think that's the Texas Smash, like straight away. Let's do it again. And the first stage is gonna give you the Texas Smash. The second one is gonna go into the Oklahoma Smash, I think. So you wait a little bit and then you press the auto button again, and that's how he actually like do the second one. But the third charge, if you don't have the bottom right sort of the bottom right talent, you're only gonna do this. You're just gonna hit like and punch, and that's it. But if you have it, you kind of, as you see here, you kind of like transfer into the tornado, the tornado mode that All Might does right now. So you kind of have like an additional attack. So it's really good to have. So that's why if you want to like to do the maximum amount of damage, you should definitely like go for the bottom right, because it's gonna give you those that extra attack, and also the extra 100% like attack whenever you're gonna be using the W. All right, let's demonstrate the W. The W basically used to be just him jumping into the air and slamming into the ground, but when you have like the full chipset, is gonna be adding the Oklahoma smash at the same time, where he turns into a human tornado or like a fan. So let's go into the W right now. If you press the W without the chipset, you just smash into the ground, but since we have the chipset, we're gonna be doing the sort of the spin around. The same for the E as well. It used to just like him jumping into the air and slamming into the ground and doing damage, but now you're just gonna transfer into that's okay. We have a cooldown, I think, on it. but it usually just like transfer into sort of the tornado as well. So that's something to keep in mind whenever you're farming for the chipset or you're wondering how that works. The second or the third attack that you're going to be seeing is actually the Q, and you see on top of it that there is a number, and that number is actually scales up based on the autos that you're gonna be using. So if I use any different like sort of like combination for All Might right here, it's gonna be, you're gonna see that number sort of like adds up, and that is going to be increasing the damage that the Q is going to be doing. So that's something to keep in mind. So now it's going to be 7, so that's the maximum amount or the maximum charge that you can actually have on the Q. Don't worry, even if you miss these this attack and you don't hit any enemy, you're not going to be losing your stacks, so that's something really good to have. But this is like sort of the animation that you should be seeing when you hit all 7 stacks or 7 charges on the Q. So you're gonna be doing a Detroit smash, and it does like an incredible amount of damage, especially if you have like the talent maxed out, and also if you have like triple S, it's gonna be increasing the Q damage by 30%, I believe. So that's something to keep in mind. The special, like we talked about earlier, is gonna be increasing your attack by 30%, I believe, or 50%. Yeah, it's okay. If you have it like maxed out, it's actually 50%, and it's gonna be increasing the damage as well. So that's something really good to have. Like this, you want to like to pop out this special whenever you can, or whenever you're doing the auto, because you're going to be getting that increase like of special. Let's check out like what the best combo you can actually have for sort of All Might right now. The best initial attack you should have for All Might is basically jumping into like a W, so you can get the 100% attack. You can actually see it on top of me, and then pop like the special straight away the moment that you press the sort of like the W. And that way you can actually benefit by having the W, so you're gonna get 100% more attack, and then if you pop the special, you're gonna have like an attack increase by 50, and also you can actually have the extra 12% from the card once you actually transition to doing the auto. So this is how it looks like once you do it like perfectly. You're gonna be doing the W straight away into the special, and then you're gonna be doing the autos as well, and the sort of like the passive should pop up straight away, which is like the passive card. So that's how it goes. When it comes to ultimate, I think All Might has one of the worst ultimates in the game, because it's really hard to see. It's really hard to time, because it takes so much time to actually sort of like charge. As you guys like can see here, it takes so much time, like a couple of seconds, and by that time the enemy can actually transform or go somewhere else, or he becomes immune. So it's better to like to keep doing damage instead of just using it. I use it like normally if I want to sort of like dodge a certain attack or something, but yeah, it's personal preference, I guess. But this is how I use All Might. I just like press the W for the extra 100%, and with the special on as well, and I just transfer into the smash right away, and then the Oklahoma smash for the maximum amount of damage. Yeah, it's kind of decent amount of damage, but this is how in the scenario like of sort of maybe the agency assessment or something, I just like do this and then straight away into this, and then this one is already on to have like 100% more attack, like a crit rate 100%, and then I do this, and then by that time I do have, and then if I have like a 7, I just like do the Q as well, pop it straight away with it. Something to keep in mind that you can actually like cancel the special at any time that you want. So for example, like if you're sort of charging the auto, you can actually save up your sort of like special until the last minute to use. For example, I don't have the special on right now. I can just like wait for it, and then I pop it at the last second, and that way I can just like use it with the Oklahoma smash, and then I can cancel it so it can charge up again, and then I use it before doing the last attack and yada yada yada, and you want to do that over and over again. So W first. With the special, we don't have the special, we can reset it straight away. We want to like to use the W with the special, and then I do this and then transition to this so I can get the extra 14% from the card, and also like the normal card is gonna pass. So that's how I actually use All Might right now. And those are like the things that I would recommend you guys sort of like avoiding if you're going to be using All Might. Those are my recommendations. Of course, if you have any questions, drop them down below and I'll be more than happy to answer anything you want to. And if I missed something or I didn't answer like a certain thing, or you thought that I did wrong, of course, drop them in the comments down below. Help each other out. That would be amazing. But if you found it helpful, please don't forget to leave a like. As always, I really appreciate it and do help the channel to grow. Subscribe if you haven't already for more content like this, and I'll be catching you guys in the next one. Bye bye.